My fellow Guardians, what's up y'all? Your dude Sly here, and welcome back to another Sly Nation Destiny 2 Vault of Glass raid guide. So in the past we have talked about how to easily defeat Atheon without using a slice of cheddar. We've talked about a few triumphs, and in this video I figured we would complete my overall raid guide and go over the Templar and the Oracles, the Templars well in general. Now I made an easy Oracles video which talked about the Oracle encounter within the Templar and Atheon. That you should definitely check out if you're having trouble calling out oracles. But in this video, however, we're going to go over the entire Templars well encounter, all three phases. So with that, let's get this bad boy started. First, let's talk about the different classes and weapons, and then we'll walk through the map and then put everything into motion after that. So starting with the Confluxes, which is the first encounter once you reach the Templars well. This is pretty much basic protection encounter. You start by having to defend one Conflux, which the enemy sacrifice into, then 2, and then finally 3. For subclasses, you can use whatever you wish for this encounter. It's not really that hard, as well as the next one, the Oracles. Warlocks, a well of course is always handy to have just in case, but Nova Bomb, Slova Bomb to be exact, and Chaos Reach all work very well here, and I would recommend those two over a well, at least during this encounter. But be sure to put on Geomag Stabilizers for Chaos Reach, and the Skull of Dire Ahamkara for Slova Bombs. Titans, again, having a bubble is a great kind of oh shit moment super to have, but Thunder Crash is definitely the way to go. Of course, using the exotic chest piece, Curious of the Falling Star. But if you want to mix things up a little bit, all subclasses really will work here. Hunters, I would recommend Tether all day unless you're doing a Triumph or a challenge in this area. Having a Tether with Orpheus rigs can make adds, easier than they already are. However, Blade Barrage with Shards of Galanor exotic arms can also be a viable alternative here. For weapons, this is really all about crowd control and some distance shooting. Your favorite primary will work here, but have one with a little bit of range like an auto rifle or a hand cannon. SMG, it will work, but you're definitely going to notice damage drop off. For special, I recommend a grenade launcher without a doubt. Salvage or Salvo works wonders here, especially with chain reaction. Since they reinstated the extra damage for chain reaction on the seasonal artifact, it makes it that much mo better. For heavy, Xenophage all the way. This will allow you to one-shot snipers across the gaps and take out boss wyverns with ease. It also one-shots oracles in the next round, which means you won't have to switch out weapons. Now, if you don't have Xeno, first of all, you need to get it, but rockets with Frenzy, Impact Casing, and charge with light setups using Argent Ordnance, also a very powerful combination for stopping wyverns and probably the best alternative. Like I mentioned, this area really doesn't need a guide as it's pretty easy as is, but for first timers, I thought I would include it anyways. Pretty much what you want to do here, guys, is split up into 3 teams of 2. You're going to have 2 on the left, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the right. Now, all the callouts that I'm going to make, left, middle, right, they're always going to be from the flag looking at the boss. Basically, you want to trap the adds where they spawn, which is where grenades, supers, and rocket launchers or grenade launchers come in handy. You will need to have some overload rounds available, as overload minotaurs come out here as well, so be sure to put it on your grenade launcher, hand cannon, or SMG. All you have to do for this first part is to protect your Conflux, and that's really it, guys. It's super easy. You shouldn't have any problems in this part. There's one mechanic you need to know about that will be in effect for this round and the following 2 encounters after this. It's called Marked by Negation. Vex Fanatics, which are those headless Vex, drop a pool of goo on the ground when they die. Now, if you step into this pool, you're going to get a debuff called Negation. You need to avoid this at all costs. Now, in the pit, which is below the Templar in the lowest point of the map, right smack dab in the middle, you're going to notice a Vex plate, and that'll be glowing kind of this bluish white. This will allow you to cleanse yourself if you accidentally step into a puddle. However, once it is used, it goes away for a short time, leaving others screwed. So if you do step in it, call it out beforehand and let others know that you're about to use it if someone else is also marked. That way you guys can wait down there together and enter the pool. The well will come back again fairly soon, however not soon enough to save someone else from dying if they are marked as well. So again, if you are marked, jump down below, kind of hide, call it out that you're about to use the pit and the well, and then if someone else needs to use it, they'll join you down below. You guys enter the well together and then split back up. After you defend the Confluxes for 3 rounds, you're done, and now on to Oracles. Now for the oracles, I would use the exact same loadouts you have, except here I would swap subclasses over to Bubble or Well. Now you don't have wyverns this time around, but you do have shielded minotaurs who can give you a bit of trouble. So grenade launchers or a shotgun will work nicely here, as will xenophage. The reason I like shotguns is because if you have to reload your xenophage, that takes way too long and you could miss your oracle. A shotgun can 1 or 2 tap these oracles, so I like shotguns, but a grenade launcher will work as well. The real challenge in this encounter is to deal with ads and the snipers, kind of perched up high, while listening for oracle callouts and calling out your own oracle. Now my team and I used several different callout strats during contest mode on day 1, and we ended up landing on one that is easy and really intuitive. Once again, you'll break up into the same teams you were during the last encounter, 2, 2, and 2, 2 left, 2 middle, and 2 right. Now there are 7 oracles within this entire map. They spawn kind of in a mirror image of one another. You have 1, 2, 3 left, 1 in the middle, and then 1, 2, 3 on the right. In Destiny 2's Vault of Glass, you have to listen to the order in which they spawn, and then you have to take them out in that order. At the beginning of each round, the oracles will glow and sound off. Now they're going to show themselves twice. You get 2 chances to figure out the call out and the order. The third time, all 7 will glow, and then it's up to you and your team to shoot them in the correct order. So here's the easiest way to deal with them, guys. You have 6 guardians, right? 6 teammates. There are 7 oracles. Assign each guardian to 1 oracle location, and then someone on the left side of the map or in the middle will have to pull double duty and watch out for 2. But since oracles spawn at different times, never 2 at once, it can easily be done. Instead of using callouts like L3, middle, R1, etc., each oracle is covered, and we don't need to know location, only the order. So basically, each guardian stands next to their oracle, and the instant it pops up, they're going to assign it the number in which it popped up. Since they only will pop up 1 at a time, you only have to number them in order. So basically, the first oracle pops up, that player calls out 1. They now know that their oracle is the first to shoot in the upcoming order. The next oracle pops up somewhere else, that guardian who is covering that specific spot will call out 2. Now they know that their assigned oracle is second in line to be shot, and then 3, and so forth. Since all oracles are covered, we don't need to know locations, we only need to know the order. Once the oracles sing their positions twice over, you then shoot them in the order you just called out, 1, 2, 3, etc. This method is incredibly easy. I guess the only really difficult part here is when you have to deal with the ads like the snipers or the minotaurs while trying to, make those callouts. The best advice I can tell you is to never leave your area. At least the oracle area. You always want to keep your oracle in your peripheral vision. This way you can see the glow and call out which number it popped up in. You can take out ads and kind of keep a side eye on your oracle. The good thing about this encounter is that your oracle will never be called out twice in one round. So once you know its number, you can stop focusing on it and then take care of the ads. Once it's time to shoot, simply listen to the number before you, and once it gets time to take out your own, pop it with xenophage, call out your number, and then you're free to do whatever until the next call out comes up. Again, only focus on your own oracle. Each of the other oracles are covered as well, and since they only chime in 1 at a time, this makes an order very easy to follow. After a few runs of this method, you'll see just how intuitive the system is and how easy it is to learn. The best thing is that it can be taught in just a few practice runs to someone who's never done the oracles before. No need to memorize where L1 or R3 is located, or middle 1, etc. Since everyone is assigned an oracle, location's irrelevant. You only need to worry about the order of your own oracle. The very first round of the oracle encounter will call out 3 oracles. By the time you reach the end, the very last round, you're going to be calling out all 7. But again, your oracle will not pop up twice, so as long as you know what number your own oracle is, it's going to be easy. After a few rounds of popping oracles, the next encounter is complete, my friends. Grab your loot, and now we are on to the boss phase of this area, the Templar. So there are numerous ways to go about this boss fight. Now an easy way is to drop a bunch of wells and titan bubbles in the pit right at the very beginning. So the relic holder can get its super, drop the Templar shield within the first couple seconds, and then you can simply burn it down without having to do oracles. But I'm going to teach you all the traditional way, that way no matter what team you land on, you will know how to do this fight. So, like normal, starting with subclasses, depending on the number of Titans and Warlocks in your group, I recommend having at least one bubble and at least one well. The rest can use Thunder Crash, Nova Bombs, Chaos Reach, etc. For Hunters, a Tether for ad control would work nicely here, but since we're doing damage, Golden Gun with Nighthawk of course wouldn't hurt. For weapons, again, depending on the strategy you can go for a double slug shotgun with Anarchy, if you can get up close enough, or for long-range weapons, use things like Xenophage, linear fusions, and sniper rifles. With contest mode off, the Templar is a fairly easy boss to take out. It's more executing the damage phase, rather than worrying about doing enough damage. So during this fight, a few new elements pop up here. Again, the Fanatic Puddles are still a thing, so watch out for that. However, you have to battle Oracles on top of the Templar during each round, before each damage phase. However, only 3 Oracles will spawn at a time here, so it doesn't make things really all that more difficult. The third thing you have to watch out for and learn is the Relic. Now this weapon has multiple uses, but it's mostly there to be able to stun the Templar, break its shields, and then do damage. Now as you hold the Relic, its super will charge just like a subclass. This super stuns the boss and drops its shields at the same time. You have to aim the super, so be careful not to miss or you're going to have to do the Oracles again while your super charges. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you can charge this Relic super with orbs. So if you want to try to do that middle strategy where you just pile up a bunch of orbs, get your super instantly, take down the Templar shields and burn them on the spot, that is a very easy way to get this encounter completed without having to do Oracles. But like I said, it doesn't always work out that easily. So before we get into placements, guys, let's talk about how damage works during the Templar phase. Now you need to start the encounter, kill the ads as they come out, and then take care of 3 Oracles. Again, they need to be shot in order. Once that happens, the Relic will be charged by that time, and it's time for damage. Once the Relic holder shoots its super on the Templar, its shields will drop, and then you'll need to do damage immediately. As your team does damage, you'll notice a circle appear in the middle. Now, it can show up at 6 different locations. However, it'll only show up at one of these locations at a time. The circle indicates that the Templar is trying to flee from the position it's currently in and head towards that circle. If it does, it gains its shield back and the damage round is over. In order to stop that from happening, someone needs to stand in that circle. Doing so will block the Templar's teleport and allow your team to keep firing on it in the same position that it's in. The more teleports you block, the longer you have to do damage. However, the more teleports you block, the more ads that spawn. With each teleportation block, 2 Minotaurs and a few ads will spawn. So if you block it 4 times, that's 8 Minotaurs you have to worry about if you don't kill the boss and one-phase it. And when you kill the boss, the rest of the ads go with it. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. It's best to have the Relic holder do the blocking, since they aren't really contributing to damage anyways. Letting them block each teleport just makes sense. Okay, so let's go through this boss fight from start to finish. At the very beginning, you want to have the Relic holder and one other player go to the left-hand side of the map, while the other 4 go all the way on the right-hand side like you see here in this video. If you have a good Relic holder, they can solo the left by themselves, but that's really just showing off, and it doesn't help or hurt the team by having 2 players on the left. Now they're really here only to cover Oracles. If you're using the Relic, you have to hop up in the air and then use the heavy slam attack to get rid of an Oracle. Now do not drop it and shoot it with Xenophage, because all your super energy will leave the moment you drop the Relic, and then that will throw off damage timing. Once again, don't worry about locations, simply call it out like you did in the Oracle round, 1, 2, and 3. The first one that chimes in, the second one, then the third. There will only be 3 Oracles per round on normal mode, so don't worry about having to shoot 7 at some other time. It'll only be 3 every single time. Once the Oracles are taken care of, everyone will then meet up for damage. Now this will ultimately depend on where the Templar is located. Some locations will allow you to use the double slug shotgun anarchy method, which absolutely melts him, while others you'll need to use long range weapons like linear fusions and snipers. Either way, damage here is the same. The Relic holder pops the boss's shield with its super, everyone meets up for damage. Plop down a well, bubble in the back, and simply do as much damage as possible. While doing damage, 2 things will happen here. Number 1, the Relic holder will have to block teleports around the map, but the Templar will also single out one player to be detained. Being detained basically means you get this shield around you and you cannot shoot your own way out. You have to be shot out by another player. These shields are pretty beefy, so if the relic holder is nearby, just have them slam the players out with the relic or use the relic super. Now, since you're blocking the Templar's teleport, he will not move from that location. The well and bubble will protect you from the ads spawning in while you're doing damage. If I were you, I would yellow it and go for broke, try to one-phase them. Block the teleports as many times as possible, and like I said, just try to go for a one-phase. This lets you skip the other Oracle rounds, and you won't have to clean up ads at the end. However, if you try that a few times and one-phasing is not a possibility and you're lacking damage, I would block the Templar twice each round. Then clean up the ads, spread back out to do oracles, shoot them in order, then meet back up for damage again. Damage is usually done from the right hand side of the map, the middle, or the left hand side, depending on where the Templar goes first. But either way, the damage here is the same, guys. Drop a bubble, drop a well, shoot as much as possible, and that's really about it, y'all. Once you get the hang of it, the Templar is an easy boss to get past. On contest mode on day 1, things were a little tougher, but now that normal mode is here, this is a boss fight that you should be flying through, and with a little bit of practice, you'll be one-phasing this dude every single time. So yeah, that's it, Guardians. Those are all the encounters within the Templars well. Even though things haven't changed all that much since D1, I wanted to make this guide for all the new D2 Guardians out there, as well as make sure my raid guides were complete for the Vault of Glass. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this guide has helped you understand these encounters. If nothing else, I hope that at least the oracles have become easier. If you're new to my channel, then welcome, Guardian. Subscribe for plenty more Destiny 2 videos, including more Vault of Glass raid, challenge, and triumph guides. Spank the thumbs up or down if you liked, loved, or hated this video, and if you wish to get in touch, business or otherwise, SlyNationGaming67@gmail.com, or check me out on the socials at Sly_Nation on Twitter, SlyNationGaming on Facebook. Take care, y'all, and keep those eyes open for more D2 vids and raid guides coming out here soon. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll see you all in the next one.